What's going on? It's your boy Deuce Wayne.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Big Merv in the building. You already know what's going on.
We are here for another edition of the SceneDM Scouting Report. And it's a big time one because we have a guest with us, a special guest, my boy
Mm-hmm.
Timothy, making his second appearance on the pod. Our first episode is going to come out soon. Talking about Transformers, a little sneak peek. But we are talking about Thunderbolts, 2025 Marvel film, the final film of Phase 5. So we're now going to be entering Phase 6, and we all know we're excited about Fantastic Four. Thunderbolts, what was your first reaction? I'll start with you, Timothy, when you left the theater.
Honestly, man, first reaction, I came out of there and I was like, Marvel's back on the right track. I'm like, definitely thought they were back on the right track. I'm a big Marvel fan, as you guys probably see. I got the Wakanda jersey on representing. But yeah, I'm a big Marvel fan. I've been through it since like day one. Grew up like watching like cartoons, Superhero Squad. Shout out to that show if y'all know what it is. But I used to watch that growing up. Marvel's been good, good, good. And then Phase 5 started, and I was not a fan of it, man. I was not a fan of it, honestly. Thunderbolts had big reviews, and I was a little bit skeptical just from the way things were going. And I came out of it, and I'm like, okay, this felt like an Avengers movie. It felt
Mm-hmm.
like they're turning that corner. They got to stick the landing because that was a good film in my opinion. I
Mm-hmm.
came out of it high hopes, and I thoroughly enjoyed that movie.
Murr, what were your thoughts when you left the theater?
I thought it was good. I thought it was like, wow, we're in the right direction, man. As you know, man, I'm very big stickler on Marvel right now of that fatigue, that superhero fatigue. But man, I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed it as a standalone film. I enjoyed it as a connection to something else. I think that's what Marvel needs to do a better job of keeping like smaller parts of it continued, but like the bigger parts, let it be just its own singular movie. The connectivity is cool and it's great. We loved it, whatever, and still do love it. But like making it the entire plot and things don't work unless this and all that stuff is just like it's too much. I enjoyed Thunderbolts for just being like that kind of movie where it was just kind of standalone by itself.
When it comes to the films, yeah, like Timothy said, I was skeptical and I don't really read the reviews. So I was going in there open minded and leaving there. And I felt really optimistic about where the MCU could be headed if they take the right approach going into the Phase 6. It's kind of unfortunate though, because I don't know if you guys have kept up with the box office. Currently, right now, it was budgeted at 180 million and it's made 358 million worldwide. 175 million domestically and 183 million internationally. So together again, 358 million off of the 180 million dollar budget. But they're saying that this flopped.
I was about to say, yeah,
They're
yeah,
saying that this flopped because you obviously have to also include
marketing.
the marketing budget, which is probably another 100 to 200 million dollars. Especially, I mean, I was watching the Super Bowl. I know you guys were as well, but I saw the Thunderbolts commercial there, and then also just heading forward throughout. So just seeing the marketing campaign and them actually making an effort to market this film and show it as its own standalone piece, I thought it would have paid off. What do you guys think about that? Just in terms of people, like Merv alluded to it, maybe have superhero fatigue or Marvel's fatigue, or why does it feel like there's not that much of a support for this type of genre or these type of films anymore, when it comes to the fan base or just the people that are usually the ones who are going out to the theaters to support this stuff?
I feel it's just kind of aged out a little bit. Like I know I started watching all these superhero movies when I was a kid, and it's like now you're growing older. If you do have kids, you're trying to take them to watch these films, but they haven't been as good. So now, well, why would I go watch these movies, get my kids into it if it hasn't been as good as when I was experiencing it? So I think we might have just like started to phase out a little bit. I know, like
Mm-hmm.
me, I'm a superhero diehard. Love all types of superhero movies. Doesn't matter what it is, Marvel, DC, even like Netflix releases some like superhero movies, Amazon, with the Samaritan or something like that. There's just so many types of superhero movies. I feel that's why it gets a fatigue. And a lot more of the superhero movies now, really like unbelievable ways that things are ending. I'm
Yeah.
sure we're gonna get into that with this movie. Like I wasn't as much as I liked Thunderbolts as the movie as a whole. I just didn't like a couple things, which was like the ending. Didn't feel it really to be realistic. I got the point of it, but end of the day, if I go watch a superhero movie, I want to see like the hero beat the villain. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of movies now hasn't been doing that. As you grow older, why would you continually go watch that when you know you're kind of gonna not have that conclusion that you want?
What do you think about just the flop that when it comes to the Thunderbolts and the output that they had at the theaters? And now it's out of theaters, so it's going to be on streaming. And it's kind of unfortunate because they had a great cast. Performances I thought were really well done. Kind of like a B, not even a B level team of heroes. Like these are like the C level. Like people don't really care about these characters like that. So the fact that they were able to commit to executing these good performances on the screen and keep us invested, I think was a testament to them, especially Florence Pugh. She's on this hot streak right now and how she's
Yeah.
continuing to do it. I don't know if she was out or not involved in this film, if it would have done as well. What do you think about the flop? And also, what do you think about Florence Pugh's performance? If someone else was in this film, I don't know. Without her charisma, they would be able to pick up some of the spots that, lagged. Because like Timothy said, this was a good film, but it definitely didn't come without its flaws.
I think the flop is a little bit of fatigue, but it's also like Marvel did this to themselves. Like the entire time I've been thinking about like what the problem is like, bro, like when you make the pinnacle of cinema and comic book movie history, it's hard to like repeat that. You're trying to repeat it with, you built up all these characters, all these loving characters that everybody cares about and loves and just wants to see on screen. And you're trying to bring in a new group because all these guys are aged out kind of thing. But it's just like, bro, you're not setting it up right. You're not giving the same. It's like hard. Like, you know what I mean? You built it to the top and then like you kind of have to break down before you go back to the top. So I feel like it's all these movies are just dashaways anyway, because it's just like, at some point, like they can't keep repeating the same success. It's impossible. So I think that it's a little bit of superhero fatigue with all superhero movies, but also just Marvel did it to himself with how well they can do a Marvel movie. They set the bar so high. It's like how we feel about Bron. Man's 40 years old. We expect the man to drop 40 balls at every game. It's not realistic. You know what I mean? There was a time, there was a place, and you can't do it as much. You can't do it for long. So that's why the flop happened. But I think that Florence did a great job. David Harbour, my dog, did a great job. I would say like the sixth man or whatever of the movie. Personally, I wouldn't say MVP, but I'd say sixth man. And Florence did her job, did a blessed job. I feel like she got really emotional with it, like emotion in this movie
For sure.
A lot of feelings, a lot of different things like that. And I feel like the way she was able to tap into that side of her, you know, I mean, not just the action rough side. She tapped into that really emotional side where she had that back and forth with David Harbour. And just like, you know, I mean, the parent kid stuff. So I don't know. I think that the performances were great. The movie, like Timothy said, plot wise, it was just not it.
Yeah, you're right. I think their banter was incredible. Like you said, it was effective because it was emotional, father-daughter kind of thing. Especially when they speak about losing their sister, the Black Widow. I think that was a very impactful scene. Kind of resonates with me, but I think she kind of executes this type of charisma that's hard to duplicate from somebody else, and it just jumps out the screen. In some moments, the movie felt a little bit dull in that sense. But I also think like her performance was very layered. It was like subtle, but in a way that we kind of all could have experience with it, or someone else could have experience it. Her performance stood out to me because one, she was vulnerable, but then two, she's one of those empathetic leaders, one of those leaders that she's not hard on her crew. She could understand literally and figuratively what everybody else feels, kind of like an empath, and she's able to kind of lead that way. Let's do a quick rundown of the plot to the people who haven't seen it, but spoiler alert, this is Thunderbolts. We're going to talk about the premise of the film.
I mean, it's a pretty simple film. It's like a Suicide Squad, essentially.
Even Guardians of the Galaxy vibes, too.
Even Guardians, exactly. Yelena is going through some life stuff, trying to figure out life, trying to figure out her purpose, and somehow finds purpose in working with all these other mercenaries. They all banded together so that they could go up against her, but then they didn't know that she had like the secret weapon named Sentry. And Sentry is like the Superman of Marvel. Like he's tough.
OP.
He's
OP.
he's OP still. It doesn't make sense. They get defeated, but then they have to deal with his darker side. His darker side comes out, the depression comes out, and he turns into what they call the Void. And the Void marks people with something I've never seen before.
Yo,
man waves his hand and you turn into a shadow. I've never seen nothing like that before in my life.
He said, "Poof, be gone."
Yeah, I was like, yo, that's crazy.
Because you were sitting beside me, I remember you were laughing. I was crying too, so I'm not gonna lie. Every time.
Man disappeared. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing here, guys?
I was like, where'd they go first time?
Nah, I literally thought they just turned to ash. I was like, yo, that's insane.
I'm like, didn't Thanos just do this?
Yeah, exactly.
They said, let's run it back. They said, head tap. Let's run the same play. Same formula. But man, you made some really great points. I think that we could all agree thematically it's literally a story about mental health, right? Because it's about these anti-heroes that have a lot of dark undertones to them. What did you think about the opening, Timothy? The way that Florence Pugh, one, we know she did her own stunts. She was out top at the rooftop, which is sick. We're all here for practicality. That's amazing. It looks iconic, but I don't know why she would get up there for that 2 second scene. It wasn't even like an elongated scene where it showed the whole sequence of her jumping down. It just like was literally her jumping off the highest building.
Just for fun.
Just for fun.
That adrenaline rush.
Junkie.
Yeah.
Leading into her kind of having that mellow tone, talking about her life and how she's bored and she's just very complacent, just fighting right now for Valerie. Fear of God overhead shot perspective of her fighting the different agents before she goes into her comedic bag trying to get the scanner. Like, what do you think about the whole opening of this movie?
Honestly, the opening, that was one of the openings that got me hooked right from the beginning. I was like tuned in right from the start. Shout out to her. She did an amazing job. In my opinion, she did what Scarlett Johansson was supposed to do. She actually made me care about the Black Widow character. Like,
Ooh.
Wow.
I didn't care about the Black Widow character before being with
Duck, Scarlet, duck, shots.
That was crazy.
Like, dude, she made me care about the character. Easier to relate, like age-wise or something. Maybe because we already had Scarlett Johansson up on like that high pedestal from like the beginning. For her, it was like, okay, she's now establishing, and like she just made it very relatable. I think that opening scene got me hooked right from the beginning. I was in my seat, and I'm like, okay, let's tune in. And from the start, I'm like, oh dang, okay, let's go. And I like raise up. I think that was a good opening scene. It led into me just continually being invested in her and her character and how she was trying to connect to other characters throughout it. That role that she played was what Marvel wanted from the original Black Widow. I wanted Black Widow in Endgame, as you guys see. They wanted us to get emotionally attached to her for her death scene. They wanted us to go along and go down that route. But I feel it was just too late in the movie careers of like by the time that was like that was our fourth Marvel
Avengers movie.
right?
Oh,
Avengers movie.
They did Black Widow a disservice by not giving her an origin movie. Hawkeye got a mini one in Age of Ultron, but like I feel like she never really got one. They just like kept it a mystery on purpose because that's where her character was, but then they did it for too long before they killed her off, so it was like pointless.
So shout out to Florence Pugh. Like, guys, think about this. This is her last few movies. I'm gonna run it down. Actually, let's go from the Black Widow and up because Black Widow came on in 2021, and I'm gonna speak about the last few films. 2022, we had The Wonder. 2022, we had Don't Worry, Darling. 2022, she was also in Puss in Boots, The Last Wish. In 2023, A Good Person. 2023, Oppenheimer. 2024, Dune Part 2. 2024, We Live in Time, and then 2025, Thunderbolts. So to say she's having an incredible few years and she's taking the torch right now, I think she's fighting for the top actor right now in the industry. But let's move on. David Harbour, we all know him, love him in Stranger Things and obviously in other films. Seeing him play the Red Guardian, how did you guys feel about having him in this film? I think that he provided some great comedic relief, obviously. Hilarious part of him just driving in with the limo, honking, saying, don't go in the incinerator or whatever. And it's like that scene already happened. It's so funny. And having Elena kind of want to duck and just that father and daughter moment again, right? Where it's like you're embarrassed. I remember just having my sisters dropping them off at elementary school at the school that they're at in the kissing ride. And it's like they want to just be dropped off up the street. They ain't trying to be dropped off at the school no more because they're too big for that. You know what I'm saying? So it just has that same vibes where it's like you see your pops and she's just like, don't look. But what did you guys think about David Harbour's performance?
David did an amazing job. I think that he's been on an incredible run himself, even just with his career. He's able to act his ass off. And I feel like he takes on this role and this role is like fun for him. So he plays it fun, like extra bubbly and goofy and just adding an accent to it. So I feel like he was able to be that, but then also be the emotional father figure for Yelena in the movie. And even for when she just yelled at him, like, why didn't you call? You know what I mean? Why you never check for me? Why you never do this? And even him trying to clean up the house for her and everything. There's so many different levels to it that he really did. And I feel like that added to the movie. So I thought him and Yelena actually together actually made the movie really stick together.
I agree with you, Merv, on that. I think his character was perfectly needed for this film. It gave that comedic timing that we needed, but also that emotional attachment and emotional connection that I felt was needed. I think he played the role honestly perfectly. throughout the film at times. Like I know Merv at the beginning of this pod, we you said it's kind of like a mashup of Suicide Squad and
Hmm.
Guardians of the Galaxy, and I saw that like perfectly there. Like he reminded me of Drax, but he also came in as like, okay, you're an emotional side also. So he like was
Hmm.
able to connect both pieces well. And I think he flourished in that role, and honestly, it made me also want to invest in just like another character where it's like, you seem real.
One of
Right.
the, I think, cooler scenes or the more action scenes that I was attracted to in the film was when they're in the incinerator and they all had to link up. I thought that was a very clever scene about each of them getting obviously set up by Val, thinking that each of them was each other's targets, and just seeing them kind of put their comic book lore and also their skills and abilities to use onto screen in different ways and showing their
Hmm.
skill set. I thought that was pretty cool. It also showed the characters' abilities to kind of just be witty. What was your thoughts on them in the incinerator? Because I thought that that was some of the better action that was lacking in the third part of the film.
Yeah, I agree. I think we need that in like the third part of the film. For me, it was a good time. Like we all knew it was coming because of like trailers and everything, but they were still
Mhm.
able to like elevate that scene to like the pinnacle. I think they did Ghost a little bit dirty
Dirty.
just throughout the entire movie. Can't really pinpoint anything for her. Taskmaster came in.
You got murdered
Ooh,
immediately. I was like, holy.
Immediately.
My
I was
God, she didn't even get a chance.
straight to
Did
the
she even get a
face
line?
too. I was
Bro, she a
like,
line, bro. What? Absolutely not. She got a couple ha 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 boom. I was like, all right, bro.
but yeah, no, like that scene was good. John Walker came in trying to act all soldiery and stuff, and it was like, that's like what we needed from him, though. I think that scene overall was just like it was good. It gave a good tone towards the movie, but I do think we could have used more of those like action scenes into like Act Three, if for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And I think that's a good point to transition. I mean, all good things must come to an end, they say. We're talking about all the high points of the film, but let's not ignore the low parts. We're going to keep it 100. One of the things that I had a problem with, first of all, and I think this is my issue, I don't know if you guys agree. I think I'm having a hard issue trying to defer Nick Fury's character, obviously played by the great Samuel Jackson, with the Val's character. It's two different things, but I think it's hard for me to separate their position and their command on what they're doing with the team. And then so I found myself comparing her performance to his performance. And I don't think that's totally fair to her. We know that she's a great actress. Love her in Seinfeld back in the day as Elaine. In this film as Val, I think I'm just seeing her in her role. I just didn't really understand even as well the point of it. I feel like the film, if you took her out of it, the film would still move along, you know what I mean? Without her even being in the film. Thought it was cool that our guy from The Wire was in the film. I was waiting for him to do that the whole film, but maybe in Marvel they said, "Nah, that can't go on."
You can't go on.
But
So
but it's funny when you pulled up on her at the party. That was hilarious. I think she's an amazing actor. I just think that they could have written her character either better or for it to make more sense. Her purpose didn't. You could literally get off the same storyline by just alluding to like a name by saying like
mhm.
this person set them up. There's no like need or emphasis for her character. If I'm those heroes at the end, I'm packing her up, fam. I don't care if there's media there. You just set me up, bro. Like, what are you talking about? She said, I own you. I was cool. But as a hero, like, nah, bro, you try to set us up, bro. And I've seen someone just catch a headshot because of you.
I agree with that, man. I feel like Val, I wouldn't compare her to Samuel Jackson and Nick Fury at
Mhm.
all. I wouldn't do that to her. She was just a different sector. You know what I mean? There's always one group leader for everybody. That's what
Tough.
she was. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what's tough about it. But no, I agree, man. I feel like there was no action in the last part of the movie. The hug was very fast and furious. We're family. Like I don't even know you guys like that. Like for real. Like I just met you guys like maybe a day ago. I don't really know you guys enough for you guys to be like, I'm here for you. Like you barely know me. And you're saying you're here for me. So no, I understood the message. I definitely do. What did it make sense for the story? It just didn't make sense to me for what I thought it was supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like we watch Suicide Squad, and they're well, at least in the second one, they're going after this company because they have this, they have all that. They're going after the country because they have like this starfish, blah blah. Like there's so many different parts. Like okay, that's crazy. You know what I mean? But like what? You know what I mean? Does that make sense, or am I just tweaking?
I
He's
completely
making
agree.
sense,
I
man.
think the ending, the third act, is obviously the weaker part of the film.
Yeah.
I think it was the easy way out. I don't want to say that, but that's how I feel personally. I just think that they took the easy way out. They wrote that like when I think of again an action or a supernatural film, I think of the ending being climatic, and that felt anticlimactic to me. A group hug again, understand the message of kumbaya. We all want to get along, and you want to pick up the next person, and you want to relate to them and tell them, I've had dark times too, and you can't suppress it. Let's talk about it, and I'm here for you. Be there for your mans and your fellow person. But in a superhero movie, I'm not trying to see that. I'm trying to see a fight, especially after you've seen his capabilities and how he dusted like half the world, like on some
Yeah, I want to
Thanos
see
stuff.
how
So
he's
I
gonna
want to
defeat
see
the
how
guy.
he's
Yeah,
gonna
like,
exactly. And then to have him again at the end, then it's just like, all right, so what? He just like so now he's in control and he's back to normal.
he even said it. He said, "I can't even be Sentry no more because only the Void will come out." I'm like, bro, do not Incredible Hulk this guy.
Yeah, so
Please do not Incredible
you
Hulk this
wasted
guy.
a talented character and also a very strong character. I just felt like it was a cheap ending. What did you feel about it, Timothy?
I'm the same way. I didn't like the ending. I'm like, I get the message, and I'm all for the message of the movie. But once again, going into a Marvel movie, this was now renamed, or they tried to rename it the New Avengers. If it's an Avengers movie, I need to end the movie with a battle scene. Need to end with a fight. One guy's going down, one guy's standing up. Like that's just how it's
Yeah.
supposed to end, in my opinion. So I'm like, that was kind of a letdown for me. It is a Marvel movie, but I'm like, if we strip away Marvel, I
Yeah.
think we all take away. If we strip away and say this ain't a Marvel movie, this is just a superhero movie, we all probably say this is a pretty good movie. Once
Yeah.
you slap on that Marvel tag, it's like an Avengers. Okay, we need a little bit more on that ending. That's not why we got in those seats.
They're gonna do a Sentry and how they're trying to build him up is for him to come through and be the one to murder Doctor Doom or something like that. Like he loses his powers for so long and then finally he's able to control it and then boom, boom, boom. And I'm just like, bro, just don't be cheap. Don't be cheap,
That's
man.
lazy.
Let
That's
us.
lazy.
You see what I'm saying? Like, let there be somebody that can beat him up.
You guys alluded to it, but the longevity of this franchise, longest connective tissue to this is Bucky. Sebastian Stan, he's kind of like the veteran of the group now. OG Avenger, fam, the sideman, but like he's the OG, bro. Like, and it's weird to kind of say that in a sense, but he's been with us for the longest in that tenure of time out of all these characters, and now he's kind of leading the way. But I kind of feel like they held him back in this film, but he's been having a great year as well. Sebastian Stan, man, incredible actor. Obviously, he won a couple awards this past year, but he's been in The Apprentice playing Donald Trump, and he obviously was in A Different Man, which was a crazy film as well. So, man, he's going crazy. But I think Bucky is not the last time we're going to see him, but if we're going to see him again, we need to have him more active and involved in the film. But what is your opinion of having Sebastian Stan as Bucky?
I wanted Bucky to kind of go crazy in this movie, and he had that one scene where he came in on the bike, and everyone was like pretty hyped with that. That was like a good intro scene, and then after that, it was kind of just he was kind of just there. It wasn't really anything crazy, so I was a little bit disappointed in his
Put
role.
his arm in the dishwasher.
Yeah,
That was cool.
I think they could have definitely like utilized him way more, especially when there were talks of like him becoming the next Captain America, growing into that role, being a leader. I can't pinpoint too many lines that I could just draw from him, right? Or any really like big events that he helped with, right? I think that was kind of a letdown. I'm with you, Dwayne. Though I wanted to see him have a good go out because he's been with them for when he come in since
Original Captain
Oh, the
America.
original Captain America,
yeah,
yeah.
the original.
Yeah, he's been here since original
Yeah,
Captain
since-
America,
yeah,
and then he
yeah.
disappeared. He disappeared, came back, but
So he's been around for a while. So it's like I feel they need to send him out good and give him that hero triumph, at least something, right?
Are you guys excited for Phase 6? Are you guys optimistic about it, or has it gone to the point where 4 and 5 has been so poor, you're not as passionate as a fan when they announce a film, you're I'm about to pre-order these tickets, or it's like, I'll get to it when I get to it when it comes on streaming. Like where are you on the meter of Marvel and the universe when it comes to the cinematic experience?
Most of the movies, I'm just like, I'll order the ticket or I'll buy the ticket like the day before, something like that. I do think they're hyping the next Avengers like Doomsday, and I'm honestly buying into the hype right now. You're coming back.
it's working.
I'm buying
It's
It's
working.
working. So we got one.
I'm buying into that. Any other movie I'm not really buying into, but I think once Doomsday comes out, as I said, they got to stick that. Like, even Fantastic Four, I know that one's the next one's slated on the Marvel release. Like I'm not too hyped for it. I'm gonna go watch it, of course.
Anything could be better than the last outing they had. Jeez.
Exactly.
Not even
I
Michael
know,
B.
it's
Jordan
fair.
and Miles Teller, who was on fire at that time, could save that film. That's crazy. Overall, what did you guys rate and think of the film? So usually we go out of 5. Timothy's 5 buckets. whatever you want to rate it as. What do you think this film is out of 5?
Honestly, and this is where it gets tough because you put that Avengers tag and you're ready to lift up the standards of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I had to give it just like a regular movie, like I'm like that's for sure like four out of 5. I put the Avengers tag on it. I'm like that ending kind of killed me, so I gotta lower it a little bit. So I'm probably at like a 3.5. Which is still higher than some of the other Marvel movies that came out.
I don't want to give it a 2.5, which I was thinking of. I'll probably give it, yeah. I'll probably just give it 3 buckets, average, whatever. I don't want to give it a 2, so I'll give it a 3, I guess. It's not like it was trash. It was just whatever. You know what I mean? It didn't really move the needle for me. It was just like, okay.
Man, I think it's awesome that Marvel kind of decided to grant these lower level characters with actual arcs. I think that's rare that they developed it from start to end, because usually we haven't been getting that, like you guys said, like lack of origin stories and lack of actually spending time with these characters, because obviously it's supernatural, but like we want to feel connected to these guys. Just you want to make it feel authentic. In 4 and 5, the phases, they've kind of been inserting all these Easter eggs, and in this film I didn't feel like it was like deliberate Easter eggs that were super intentional. Like, it was a film that had its own identity and it was like comfortable and confident in what it was, instead of being like, yo, we got this coming next, like throughout the whole film. Like I didn't really feel like that. I kind of feel like these, like you guys said, these characters had their standalone moments and opportunities to just be themselves. Yeah, we know that bro is trying to be like Captain America, but we're not just like talking about Captain America all the time and just like showing Captain America all the time. You know what I'm saying? That's what I kind of mean. I'll probably give it a 3 out of 5 too. You guys said it, because it looked really well and it had an overall message. And like I said, that's what I've been struggling to connect to with the past Marvel films, is having a message. I'm like, what was this film for? What was it about? Especially when you talk about some of the recent Thors, I literally leave the theater like, what? Why? Like, why did they make this? Like, the fact that this film had a confident message and it stuck to it. Yes, it didn't land the plane, but I appreciate the effort. Phase 4 and 5, right, delivered decreasing returns when it comes to their films. They had installments like Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Legend of 10 Rings, Captain America, A Brave New World, The Eternals, The Marvels. Are any of those films like a guilty pleasure for you guys, or a sleeper?
I rocked with the Eternals.
Okay.
I rocked with the Eternals.
I rocked with Shang-Chi.
Yeah, she's tough still.
I rocked with Shang-Chi as well.
Yeah,
Black
it was
Widow.
tough because they're also investing during that time. That was the first time investing heavily in the TV shows. Like,
She-Hulk, yeah.
Yeah.
Big budget to She-Hulk for sure.
Ooh.
Yeah, we'll see how that turned out. The Thunderbolts and where this will lead to. Do you guys think that there's going to be a sequel or a continuation of this film? Or do you guys think that because it flopped, they're going to try and focus on other characters in different films?
I feel like they'll just continue it into Doomsday and then do something with it after that. Like I think they'll try to make something out of it after that. I think they're gonna reset, honestly, a lot after the Avengers movies come out. I'm not even sure what we're even looking for, because they could do anything at this point. At least we know we're gonna get Fantastic Four and X-Men for sure. Other than that, yeah, I have no idea what future holds with these guys.
Yeah, they haven't really. I don't really know what's up with the future, but I'm kind of with you, Merv. Like, I think they're just gonna blend it into Doomsday, into Secret Wars, however they want to. Obviously, there'll be like a tie-in near the end with Fantastic Four, based on like,
for sure.
post-credit scene. But after that, I'm like, I don't really know the direction they're gonna go with anything else. Which honestly, as a fan, keeps me guessing. But also, it's like, hey, like, what happened to Spider-Man? Like, what happened to Thor? Like, he's been missing for like a while now. So Doctor Strange, like all these guys. Right?
Yeah, there are people that are just chilling.
What film are you guys most anticipating or wanting them to do? Because for me, I'm still waiting on this Blade to happen. I know I'm probably delusional and it's not going to happen.
It's not happening, but I wish.
That is something that I wish for. Is there any like films in the Marvel canon that you guys are wanting them to film or reboot or take a crack at if they haven't yet?
Honestly, I wanted them to go with Moon Knight, man. I like the character. I like the show. I don't think it's going to happen, but that was one I'm kind of interested in.
I need the comic book accurate Avengers versus X-Men. Like, I need it. I need it.
That's tough.
That's what I really need. Like that story, bro, the Phoenix Force. Oh yeah, no, I need it.
Big time.
That story is insane, fam. So if anybody's ever read that comic book, you know why that they need to turn that into a movie. But I don't know if they'll ever do it.
Yeah, that'll be tough. All right, man. It's been real. SceneDMs, scouting report, talking about Thunderbolts. Timothy, appreciate having you on. No, it's not going to be the last time. Merv, Yes, sir. We have more Scene DM scouting reports coming out. Let us know in the comments what you thought about this film. And of course, subscribe to Scene DMs for more TV and movie content. And Merv, like always, we'll be back same time, same place next week.
Yes, sir. See ya.